Welcome to Frederick at its best. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner. And today we're joined together and we join other Americans across our great nation to recognize and celebrate Veterans Day, a day when we honor the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedoms. Veterans Day gives us an opportunity to pause and to remember all the sacrifices that were made by ordinary citizens who did extraordinary things to defend and serve our country. Veterans Day was first celebrated 98 years ago when President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November 11th, 1919 as Armistice Day. So for many years, this was known as Armistice Day. In 1954, the day was renamed to Veterans Day by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. For the past 85 years, Frederick County has done a number of things to celebrate Veterans Day, but for the past 85 years, Frederick County has marked the occasion with the annual Veterans Day Parade in Brunswick. This parade is one of the oldest celebrations in the country, and it is the only Veterans Day parade in the state of Maryland. Many Veterans Day events are scheduled in our community in the city of Frederick, Middletown, Walkersville, and around the county. This Veterans Day, I am honored to be joined by a number of Frederick County veterans who are joined with me here today. While there are 16 million veterans in the United States, Frederick County is home to approximately 17,000 veterans. We're ranked 7th out of the 24 counties in Maryland in terms of the number of veterans. Our veterans have served in times of war, and they've served our country in times of peace, providing humanitarian aid around the world. We can never truly repay our veterans for all they have done for our country. My father served during the Korean War, and my father-in-law and his father served during World War II. So I can personally appreciate the immense commitment these men and women have made for all of us. I firmly believe we need to do our utmost to ensure that our veterans are fully supported and are connected to the resources they need. We know that few of our young people who are coming back from our current conflicts and wars are joining some of our traditional veteran organizations like the American Legion and the VFW that will welcome them and have been known to provide support to generations of veterans. That's why I recently proposed legislation to establish a Frederick County Commission on Veterans Affairs that would provide a forum for those who served long ago and those who served more recently, so they can share and voice their issues, concerns, and ideas. This commission will also serve as a conduit to connect veterans to resources and information, and Council President Bud Otis introduced this Veterans Commission in legislation this week. There are many agencies and organizations in Frederick County government that assist our veterans. They include Frederick County Workforce Services, whose staff provides priority services to veterans and offers training specifically designed for veterans preparing to enter civilian careers. The U.S. Army Department of Veteran Affairs Vet Center has space in the Frederick County Senior Center on Tawney Avenue next to the American Legion's Francis Scott Key Post 11. And of course, the longtime institutions like the American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign Wars also actively support our veterans. Frederick Community College has a Veteran Services Office that offers academic and support services for veterans enrolled in classes at the community college. And I know some of our other higher institutions of education, like Mount St. Mary's, also have strong veteran support programs. It is our duty to ensure that veterans have access to education, employment, counseling, and other support services. Before I ask our guests to introduce themselves and say a few words, I want to read a proclamation. Whereas on Veterans Day, we pay tribute to the service and sacrifice of the men and women who, in defense of our freedom, have bravely worn the uniform of the United States Armed Forces, and whereas throughout the world, brave patriots have protected our nation's ideals, rescued millions from tyranny, and helped spread freedom around the globe, America's veterans answered the call when asked to protect our nation. They stood tall in the face of grave danger and enabled our nation to become the greatest force for freedom in human history. And whereas members of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard have answered a high calling to serve and have helped secure America at every turn, And whereas our country is forever indebted to our veterans for their quiet courage and exemplary service, on Veterans Day, we remember these heroes for their valor, their loyalty, and their dedication. Their selfless service continues to inspire us today as we work to advance peace and extend freedom around the world. So now, therefore, as the County Executive of Frederick County, Maryland, I hereby proclaim November 11th, 2017 as Veterans Day in Frederick County and encourage this observance among all of our citizens. So with that, I would like to hear from our guests, and I think we should hear from our World War II veteran first. Why don't we start with you, and then if you can just pass it down and pass it back, we'll all say a few words.
Sorry.
It's turned on.
My name is Charles W. Bear. I served from 44 to 46 on active duty. I returned home, but I had to go in a reserve unit for 3 years in case our unit was called back up to service.
It's hard to follow a World War II veteran. My name is Randy D. Jones. I'm a 20-year veteran of the United States Army Medical. I am a resident of Frederick, Maryland for the last 29 years, and this is where I would die at, right here.
My name is Sharon Jacko. I served 26 years in the Marine Corps. I retired as a lieutenant colonel and proudly served in Iraq. And coming back to a hometown like Frederick County, I want to thank you for reaching out to veterans. It is so important not to forget. And thank you for moving forward on the commission.
My name is Sean Butcher, and I am an Army veteran. I also work for a national nonprofit organization called Disabled Sports USA that works with physically injured, wounded veterans. But I'm also proud to actually, for the past 4 years, have coordinated the annual Brunswick Veterans Day Parade, which, as County Executive Gardner said, is one of the oldest in the country and one of only 2 officially designated Veterans Day events by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs each year. So if you missed it this past Sunday, mark your calendar for 2018.
Hello, my name is Sylvia Bowens, and I'm retired Army. I've served 31 years. And I came back home myself. I am the daughter of a retired Air Force, and cousins and nieces and nephews that I've also served.
I feel kind of weak here. I joined in '67, served 6 years in the Army Reserve during Vietnam, but I didn't do the 25 or 30 years that some of our friends have here. I'm a Bob Smariga, member of the French-Kaki Legion on 20 Avenue, and we invite all veterans who are in the Frederick County area to join us anytime they want to.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Diana Modelsky. I'm here to represent Council President Bud Otis, who just dropped the Veterans Advisory Council bill on Tuesday in commemoration of this Veterans Week. So thank you so much for your service.
Good evening. Master Sergeant Rick Stope, U.S. Army retired, 23 years, Army and Maryland Army National Guard. I'm representing Francis Scott Key Post 11, the American Legion, Forger Lookout 155, the 40 and 8, and also and doing the sales pitch to encourage everybody to join something that's related to the veterans, because that's the only way the veterans are protected with people fighting for them, and these veterans groups do. As Bob said about Post 11, we have our service on Saturday. It's at 11 o'clock at Memorial Park. Please come out. We've been doing it since the boys came back and ladies came back in 1919. We'll have some festivities at the Legion afterwards. It takes about an hour, and Walkersville has a lovely service on Sunday at 1 o'clock at the Memorial Park. We'll be there supporting that with our locomotive in the 40 and 8.
Hi, I'm David Swiderski. I'm the second vice commander, FSK post number 11, and Rick and Bob took all my thunder talking about Veterans Day on the 11th, this Saturday at 11 o'clock. Hope to see everybody out there. It's not just for veterans, but it's for everybody. And that's it.
Kirby DeLauder, served 1982 to 88, Army Infantry.
I'm Scott Halter. I'm on Fort Detrick. I'm an Army veteran. I'm proud to be married to an Army veteran and a son of a Marine Corps Vietnam veteran. I also just want to say that this is the best military or Army community that I've experienced in my 2 decades in the Army, and I'm proud to be part of it and to participate in not just this event, but many events that you have to help veterans in Frederick County. So thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Steve McGoldrick. I served in the United States Army as a first lieutenant in the infantry and infantry platoon leader in Vietnam, 1968 and 69, 4th Infantry Division. Glad to be here, and thanks for recognizing us, Jan.
My name is Kelly Russell. I'm an alderman in the city of Frederick, and I'm here representing the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Frederick to say thank you to the veterans for your service, which humbles me. I have not served in the military. My father received his American citizenship by serving in the U.S. Army during World War II. So the city of Frederick wants you to know that we appreciate you. We are glad to be the home of Fort Detrick and to have so many wonderful veterans who contribute to our community on a daily basis. We're very proud. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the citizens of Frederick County, I want to express my appreciation to each of you for your service and to all of our veterans who may be watching this or may not be watching this. We really want to thank all of our veterans for their service to our country. And I will say there's veterans all around us. There are many who work here in Winchester Hall and out in our community and continue to serve in a number of other important ways. So Veterans Day is an important day for all of our citizens to show our thanks to our members of our military, to remember their service to our country, to thank them for keeping us safe and protected. You've preserved our nation of freedom. Thank you. We salute you. Please get out and attend a Veterans Day event and honor our community's veterans. Thank you for joining us.